So now we have a sample of our new audiobook of the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, another Acts of the Apostles, featuring Peter, or Kepha, on his journey to Rome, and his secretary Clement, taking notes. This is an ancient document that we brought back to the fore here at Vero Essenyahat. I've sent out thousands of ebooks and sold maybe hundreds of these. It's a life-changing book. This particular segment is a sample for you. Nazarene Acts is a 10-book set, 10 very small books that fit into one. In the printed form, it's 320 pages. It answers a lot of questions. This particular segment, as I was saying, is part of the debate between Kepha and Shimon Magus. Wait till you hear it. You want to get the rest. Putting together an audiobook is just as hard as writing the book itself. A lot of editing needs to be done. I'm doing this for a fundraiser. It costs money to retain all these online venues and to send out all this information that I personally have been doing for the last 40 years. And now I need some help. So I would like to say I'm giving it away for an $18 donation, but I might as well just be honest with you. I'm selling the book now. If you want an e-copy, I'll give that to you free. But if you want the audio or the printed version, you need to go to kingdomcart.com. That's kingdomcart with a K.com. You'll see them both there. And in this segment, I get to play the part of Kepha, Peter, whereas my nemesis, Shimon Hamag, is voiced by none other than Bogdan G. Shroomkopf. He does a great job.
Oh, that's me.
Just don't let it go to your head. So sit back for about 20 minutes and enjoy this segment. The entire book should be finished maybe by the end of the first week of May. I'm going to really get down on this and try to get it done. And if you want to help, I will gladly send you this and the ebook, the entire thing. Just go out to kingdomcart.com. Pick it up. I'll see who you are. I'll send you some gifts. Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, a.k.a. the New Hebraic Translation of the Clementine Recognitions, an ancient book hidden in the back of a dusty library by certain high church officials. The Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, Book 2, Chapter 51, The Sixth Sense. But believe me that you could never know what light is unless you had received both vision and understanding from light itself. So also in other things. Hence, having received understanding, you are framing in some imagination something greater and more sublime, as if dreaming, but deriving all your hints from those five senses to whose giver you are unthankful. But be sure of this, that until you find some new sense that is beyond those five that we all enjoy, you cannot assert the existence of a new Elohim. Then Shimon answered,
Since all things that exist are in accordance with those five senses, that power that is more excellent than all cannot add anything new.
Then Kepha said, It is false. For there's also a sixth sense, namely that of foreknowledge. For those five senses are capable of knowledge, but the sixth is that of foreknowledge. And this the Navi'im possessed. How then can you know an Elohim who is unknown to all, who do not know the sense of the Navi, which is that of insight? Then Shimon began to say,
This power of which I speak, incomprehensible and more excellent than all, even than that Elohim who made the world, neither any of the Malachim is known, nor the demons, nor of the Yehudaim, nay, nor any creature that subsists by means of Elohim the Creator. How then could that Creator's Torah teach me that which the Creator himself did not know, since neither did Torah itself know it, that it might teach it?
Chapter 52, An Absurd Conclusion. Then Kepha said, I wonder how you've been able to learn more from Torah than Torah was able to know or teach, and how you say that you adduce proofs from Torah of those things that you are pleased to assert, when you declare that neither Torah nor he who gave Torah, that is, the Creator of the world, knows those things of which you speak. But at this also I wonder how you, who alone know these things, should be standing here now with us all, uncircumscribed by the limits of this little court. Then Shimon, seeing Kepha and all the people laughing, said,
Do you laugh, Kepha, while so great and lofty matters are under discussion?
Then said Kepha, Ha! Be not enraged, Shimon, for we are doing no more than keeping our promise. For we are neither shutting our ears, as you said, nor did we take to flight as soon as we heard you propound your unutterable things. But we have not even stirred from the place. For indeed, you do not even propound things that have any resemblance to truth, which might to a certain extent frighten us. Yet, at all events, disclose to us the meaning of this saying, how from Torah you have learned of an Elohim whom Torah itself does not even know, and of whom he who gave Torah is ignorant. Then Shimon said,
If you have done laughing, I will prove it by clear assertions.
Then Kepha said, Assuredly, I will give over, that I may learn from you how you have learned from Torah, that neither Torah nor the Yahweh of Torah himself knows. Chapter 53, Shimon's Blasphemy. Then says Shimon,
Listen, it is manifest to all, and ascertained in a manner of which no account can be given, that there is one sovereign, who is better than all, from whom all that is took its beginning, whence also of necessity all things that are after him are subject to him, and the chief and most excellent of all. When therefore I ascertained that the Eloah who created the world, according to what Torah teaches, is in many respects weak, whereas weakness is utterly incompatible with a perfect Elohim. And I saw that he is not perfect. I necessarily concluded that there is another who is perfect. For this Elohim, as I have said, according to what the writing of Torah teaches, is shown to be weak in many things. In the first place, because the man whom he formed was not able to remain such as he had intended him to be, and because he cannot be good who gave Torah to the first man, that he should eat of all the trees of paradise, but that he should not touch the tree of knowledge, and if he should eat of it, he should die. For why should he forbid him to eat, and to know what is good and what is evil, that knowing he might shun the evil and choose the good? But this he did not permit. And because he did eat in violation of the commandment, and discovered what is good, and learned for the sake of honor to cover his nakedness, for he perceived it to be unseemly to stand naked before his Creator, he condemns to death him who has learned to do honor to Elohim, and curses the serpent who had shown him these things. But truly, if a man was to be injured by this means, why did he place the cause of injury in paradise at all? But if that which he placed in paradise was good, is it not the part of one that is good to restrain another from good? Oh, thank you.
Chapter 54, How Shimon Learned What Torah Does Not Teach.
Thus then, since he who made man and the world is, according to what Torah relates, imperfect, we are given to understand, without doubt, that there is another who is perfect. For it is of necessity that there is one most excellent of all, on whose account every creature keeps its rank. Whence also I, knowing that it is every way necessary that there be one more benignant and more powerful than the imperfect Elohim who gave Torah, understanding what is perfect from comparison with the imperfect, understand even from the Scripture that Elohim who is not mentioned here. And in this way I was able, O Kepha, to learn from Torah what Torah did not know. So even if Torah had not given indications from which it might be gathered that Elohim who made the world is imperfect, it was still possible for me to infer from those evils that are done in this world and not corrected, either that its Creator is powerless, if he cannot correct what is done amiss, or else if he does not wish to remove the evils, that he himself is evil. But if he neither can nor will, that he is neither powerful nor good. And from this it cannot but be concluded that there is another Elohim more excellent and more powerful than all. If you have aught to say to this, well, say on.
Chapter 55. Shimon's objection turned against himself. Kepha answered, "Oh, Shimon, they are liable to conceive such absurdities against Yahweh who do not read Torah with the instruction of the masters, but account themselves morim, and think that they can understand Torah, though he has not explained it to them who have learned of the master. Nevertheless, now that we also may seem to follow the scrolls of Torah according to your apprehension of it, inasmuch as you say that the Creator of the world is shown to be both impotent and evil, how is it that you do not see that the power of yours, which you say is superior to all, fails and lies under the very same charges? For the very same thing may be said of it, that it is either powerless, since it does not correct those things that here are done amiss, or if it can and will not, it is evil. Or if it neither can nor will, then it is both impotent and imperfect. Whence that new power of yours is not only found liable to similar charge, but even to a worse one, if in addition to all these things, it is believed to be when it is not. For he who created the world, his existence is manifest by his very operation in creating the world, as you yourself also confess. But this power that you say that you alone know affords no indication of itself, by which we might perceive that it is, and it subsists." Chapter 56. No Elohim above the Creator. What kind of conduct, then, would it be that we should forsake Yahweh, in whose world we live and enjoy all things necessary for life, and follow I know not whom, from whom we not only obtain no good, but cannot even know that he exists? Nor truly does he exist. For whether you call him light, or brighter than that light that we see, you borrow that very name from the Creator of the world. Or whether you say that he is a substance above all, you derive from him the idea with enlargement of speech. Whether you make mention of mind, or goodness, or life, or whatever else, you borrow the words from him. Since then you have nothing new concerning that power you speak of, not only as regards understanding, but even in respect of naming him, how do you introduce a new Elohim, for whom you can't even find a new name? For not only is the Creator of this world called a power, but even the ministers of his glory, and all his heavenly hosts. Do you not then think it better that we should follow our Creator Yahweh as a father who trains us and endows us as he knows how? But if, as you say, there be some Elohim more benign than all, it is certain that he will not be angry with us, or if he be angry, he is evil. For if our Yahweh is angry and punishes, he is not evil, but righteous. For he corrects and amends his own sons. But he who has no concern with us, if he will punish us, how should he be good, inflicting punishments upon us because we have not been drawn by vain imaginations to forsake our own Father and follow him? How can you assert that he is so good, when he cannot be regarded as even just? Chapter 57. Shimon's inconsistency. Then Shimon:
Do you so far err, Kepha, as to know that our spirits were made by that good Elohim, the most excellent of all, but they have been brought down as captives into this world?
To this Kepha answered, Then he is not unknown by all, as you said a little while ago. And yet, how did the good Elohim permit his spirits to be taken captive, if he be a power over all? Then Shimon said,
He sent Elohim, the Creator, to make the world, and he, when he had made it, gave it out that himself was Elohim.
Then Kepha said, Then he is not, as you said, unknown to him who made the world, nor are spirits ignorant of him, if indeed they were stolen away from him. To whom, then, can he be unknown, if both the Creator of the world know him, as having been sent by him, and all spirits know him, as having been violently withdrawn from him? And further, I wish you would tell us whether he who sent the Creator of the world did not know that he would not keep faith. For if he didn't know it, then he was not prescient. While if he foreknew it, and suffered it, he himself is guilty of this deed, since he did not prevent it. But if he could not, then he is not omnipotent. But if, knowing it is good, he did not prohibit it, he is found to be better, who presumed to do that which he who sent him did not know to be good. Chapter 58. Shimon's Elohim Unjust. Then Shimon said,
He receives those who will come to him, and does them good.
Kepha answered, But there's nothing new in this, for he whom you acknowledge to be the Creator of the world also does this. Then Shimon,
But the good Elohim bestows salvation if he is only acknowledged. But the Creator of the world demands also that Torah be fulfilled.
Then said Kepha, He saves adulterers and menslayers, if they know him, but good and sober and merciful persons, if they do not know him, in consequence of their having no information concerning him, he does not save. Great and good truly is he whom you proclaim, who is not so much the Savior of the evil, as he is one who shows no mercy to the good. Then Shimon,
It is truly very difficult for man to know him, as long as he is in the flesh. For blacker than all darkness, and heavier than all clay, is this body with which the Spirit is surrounded.
Then says Kepha, That good Elohim of yours demands things that are difficult, but he who is truly Elohim seeks easier things. Let him then, since he is so good, leave us with our Father and Creator, and once we depart from the body, and leave that darkness that you speak of, we will more easily know him, and then the Spirit will better understand that Elohim is its Creator, and will remain with him, and will no more be harassed with diverse imaginations, nor will wish to betake itself to another power, which is known to none but Shimon alone, and which is of such goodness that no one can come to it, unless he be first guilty of impiety toward his own father. I know not how this power can be called either good or just, which no one can please except by acting impiously toward him by whom he was made. Chapter 59. The Creator our Father. Then Shimon,
It is not disobedient for the sake of greater profit and advantage to rise to him who is of richer glory.
Then Kepha, If, as you say, it is not disobedient to flee to a stranger, it is at all events much more obedient to remain with our own Father, even if he be poor. But if you do not think it disobedient to leave our Father and flee to another, as being better than he, and you do not believe that our Creator will take this amiss, much more the good Elohim will not be angry, because when we were strangers to him, we have not fled to him, but have remained with our own Creator. Yea, I think he will rather commend us the more for this, that we have kept faith with Yahweh our Creator. For he will consider that, if we had been his creatures, we should have never been seduced by the allurements of any other to forsake him. For if anyone, allured by richer promises, will leave his own father and betake himself to a stranger, it may be that he will leave him in his turn, and go to another who will promise him greater things. And this the rather because he is not his son, since he could leave even him who by nature was his father. Then Shimon said,
But what if spirits are from him, and do not know him, and he is truly their father?
Chapter 60. The Creator, the Supreme Elohim. Then Kepha said, You represent him as weak enough. For if, as you say, he is more powerful than all, it can never be believed the weaker wrench the spoils from the stronger. For if Yahweh the Creator was able by violence to bring down spirits into this world, how can it be that, when they are separated from the body and freed from the bonds of captivity, the good Elohim will call them to the sufferance of punishment, on the ground that they, either through his remissness or weakness, were dragged away to this place and were involved in the body as in the darkness of ignorance. You seem to me not to know what a Father and Elohim is, but I could tell you both whence spirits are, and when and how they were made. But it's not permitted to me now to disclose these things to you, who are in such error in respect to the knowledge of Yahweh. Then said Shimon,
A time will come when you will be sorry that you did not understand me speaking of this ineffable power.
Then said Kepha, Give us then, as I have often said, as being yourself a new Elohim, or as having yourself come down from him, some new sense, by means of which we may know that new Elohim of who you speak. For those 5 senses which Elohim our Creator have given us, they keep faith to their own Creator, and they do not perceive that there is any other Yahweh, for so their nature necessitates them. So there you have 10 chapters from Book 2 of the Nazarene Acts, a.k.a. Clementine Recognitions. That's just part of the disputation between Kepha and Shimon. And as I go through this book once again, I am getting so much revelation and so many questions answered by Kepha, and so much relevance to our discussions on Facebook and elsewhere, that I hope this audio will become widely known when I finish it up, maybe in the next week. As I mentioned, there are 10 books here. Each book has about 70 chapters, very short chapters, plus some letters, perhaps authoritative, between Clement, James the Just, and Kepha, and an account of the last will and testament of Simon Peter. You're interested? Contact me, yahad.me. That's simple.
And don't forget me.